Hello everyone, welcome to Trains on Tuesday. This week we're going to do a little bit of house cleaning, we might say. Just a little follow-up on one or two other items. First of all, I'll get a train running here. We looked at my new purchases last week, and here we go. The one loco that was the mystery loco last week, and it seemed like I might need to rewind part of the motor, actually turned out to be really good. And here it comes. Running very nicely with the red and cream coach that I got at Chilliwack in October. Anyway, so that's a bonus, and we'll take a closer look at that in a second or two. For those of you that didn't guess or see what was so special about that one. Other than that, in the comments last week, Ray reminded me that I had not said what I had decided to do with regard to the new coal loader mine building. So, first of all, I need to say thank you to all of you that commented on that question. I got a lot more comments on that than I thought I might have done. And it turned out that it was around 50-50 for keeping the old one or getting rid of the old one and putting the new one in. So we're going to take a look at that, and I'll show you what my decision was on that. Anyway, we'll get that train back around here, and then we'll take a look at the thing that's so special about it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to speed it up like a frying train. You can sure hear those knurled wheels on the track there. There we go. Okay, let's take a look at that, and then we'll get into the meat of the video. Okay, so what was so special about this one is Trans Australia. This is my fourth one of these, and the first Trans Australia. I have a Triang Railways and a couple of Transcontinental, but this is a beauty in Trans Australia. Okay, on to the mine. Okay, so there's the building, and there were compelling arguments for putting this building in at the mine site, and so I gave it a try. And here's how it looks. I don't have any other support buildings to go around it like I do with the old one, and to me it just doesn't look right. Particularly as I have right next door to it a little town, apart from the electrical pylons there. This little town actually has a late 19th, early 20th century sort of feel to it. And coming back around to the other side of it, there is another little town that is probably a 1940s, early 1950s theme. So that new mine building to me just doesn't look right there. So it's back to the old building. And the old look. To me, that fits in with these towns that I have on this side much better. So, what is to become of the new building? Well, to answer that question, we're going to have to take a look at the grain operations on the layout. And then we'll see how that fits in. Okay, here we go. So the grain operations work from the prairie here over to the docks. They run throughout the layout. This is quite a big area. Generally there are around 16 cars in here. And when they're loaded, and I do run them into the loading bay there, there's 2 cars in there now. I run every car in there before I consider it loaded. When they're done, they head on out and around the main layout, and eventually they make their way over to the yard over here. And from there they get switched down to the docks, Vancouver docks, and the terminals here, the big grain elevators, which are spread over a 9-foot section of track. Here's more cars, so there's generally 16 cars or so at this end, and another trainload of them of 16 either making its way east or west. So I don't have a destination as such for the coal. When the coal train does leave the mine there, it generally makes its way around the layout and ends up in this yard here. And it sits here for a while and then it goes back again, with no real operations. Now, if we ignore the buildings and the rail cars and the cranes and everything else here and just look at the backdrop, that is downtown Vancouver back there. And swinging over around this way we have Coal Harbour. And in the background, way off in the background, if you look closely, you can see industrial activities there. We have here sulfur, piles of sulfur, and there are conveyors and things there. Moving over a little further, this is a massive mound of sawdust, wood chips, and they get loaded again through conveyors into barges, sea barges, and moved away. Further around, and I don't have the backdrops of that part, but further around there are coal operations in North Vancouver. So what I have in mind here is to remove that building, place it over here, and then bring that elevator down in here and set that in there. There's enough room for that there, and then I think I'll have enough room to put the new coal loader, the modern structure, in at the docks. It's going to restrict some of the grain operations here. It'll make it a little tighter because these tracks, foreground tracks here, are where the cars are brought in, taken out and stored here until they go to the elevators. They will now get shared with coal traffic. And this will be a coal loader for loading the ships. So there's my plan. And of course, comments are welcome. Alright everyone, that's it for this Trains on Tuesday. Take care, we're getting close to Christmas. And we'll see you again another time. Bye for now.